I'm Rachel Patterson, captain of the Claremont Piranhas.
It's been a whirlwind month for the Claremont Piranhas. At the beginning of June, they were fighting to keep their spot in the reserves division and bracing for war against the WA Women's Football League.
The Women's League have made a decision halfway through the season to put us up into the league division. It's pretty much an unprecedented move in football, so it's disrupted our entire season as far as planning and training structures and that type of things go, yeah.
Well, it's been pretty interesting. We're about 10 games into the season now, and we're playing in the reserves competition, and we've just found out that we're being promoted to the league competition for the remaining 5 games of the season. Yeah.
Sounds like it is a good thing?
Not really. Not when we've only got 8 girls that are capable or willing to play up in that division this year, because we've lost quite a lot of players over the last few years, especially at the end of last season. We lost the majority of our league team, so this year we're trying to consolidate and rebuild down in the reserves, and we've been going really well and winning quite a few games, and apparently now we're pretty much supposed to be up in the league.
The extreme score discrepancies the board is talking about is Claremont's first 3 wins of the season, which were by more than 140 points. However, in round 4 they only won by 11 points, and in round 7 recorded their first loss.
On reflection of that result, we did take that into consideration, but on reviewing the team list presented on the opposition side that won that game, there were several state representative players and highly skilled players that I guess were playing in reserve side, and they were traditionally normally league players, so their calibre was of league level but playing in that reserves to ensure the win for East Fremantle.
Well, the first we heard of it was a few weeks ago. I think it was the 5th of June. One of our committee members was asked to go to a meeting with the women's board, and they informed her there of their proposal, but said pretty much this is what's going to happen, and unless you have extenuating circumstances, we're going to be moving you up into the league competition for the remainder of the season. We provided what we thought were extenuating circumstances in that pretty much we won't be able to field a side for the rest of the year if we get put up, and that there were quite big losses for our club, especially considering that we've really struggled over the past 7 years, and trying to keep players interested and have passion for the game. When you're getting flogged every week, it's really hard. So for our club, it wasn't really a viable option for us to go up, and we told them that, but they rejected our appeal and said, no, we stand by our decision, and that's it.
That's certainly my point, is around making a competitive competition and creating or having equalisation in each of the structures, league and reserves. And yeah, it's all about having an enjoyment, or for the girls to have an enjoying a game of football, and that was certainly part of the decision making. Some of the feedback that we received through the rounds as well from other teams about the score lines, and the fact that they also voiced that they felt that Claremont was in the wrong grade.
We were absolutely devastated because we thought there was no way this can happen. They can't do this to us. Not where we stand, and at this point in one season where we're trying to regroup. I mean, it's not like we've been down here flogging for years. We've just come down hoping to rebound and get back up there next year, and then we're having this season stripped from us pretty much. The girls were really disappointed, and especially when they thought that they might not get back out there on the field if we can't field a side.
Piranha's coach Mick Rogers hasn't heard of anything like this happening before.
No, not this late in the season, no. Back in the days of playing amateurs, I think clubs were given 2 or 3 weeks for grading purposes, but definitely not this late in the season.
The Piranhas have the full support of the club, including CEO Todd Shimon, who was so surprised by the board's decision, he submitted a letter of appeal to the WAFL Commission.
It's still to be worked out, but that's where totally ranking out of performance and skill level and all that, they were comfortably sitting 4th or 5th.
The board's decision to put Claremont in 4th position on the league ladder, having not won a game, was just one of the many issues concerning the club.
It's quite confusing because as far as I know, they're going to be putting us into 4th position on the league ladder, even though we haven't beaten any of the teams that will then be below us. And all of our players will take their fairest and best points and their goals into the league competition, which means that Steph Yanov, who you met just before, she's our leading goal kicker in the reserve competition at the moment. She is, as it stands, the leading goal kicker of the league competition without ever having kicked a goal in league. And we could have girls that have been racking up fairest and best points all season that could end up getting fairest and best for the league, which is just ridiculous. And it's not fair on the players that have been playing in the league all season. And it's actually pretty embarrassing. If one of our girls ended up getting that, I don't know if they would want to accept it even, but they're also missing out on the opportunity to get it in reserves. So it's just unfair for everyone.
It was just last week that the WA Football Commission's independent arbitration panel ruled in Claremont's favour. The panel determined that under current competition bylaws, there was no scope for the relegation. That means the Piranhas can continue to rule the waters in the reserves competition.
I just think they've got to make a decision based on fairness and, just make sure this situation doesn't arise again, and so we can all go onwards and get involved in footy and stay involved in footy.
There's quite a few teams in both divisions that are winning by large margins, and there's obviously quite widespread equalisation problems within the whole league, and that needs to be addressed, I think, in a more holistic manner and with long-term kind of actions that, such as grading, pre-season grading, and also things like either a point system or some kind of zoning that can help to restore a bit of balance and help the teams that are struggling a bit to get some more players, and develop over time, instead of having these kind of powerhouse teams that just get better and better and then the smaller teams folding or just really struggling. So even though we have had quite a few big wins, I don't think that an action like this to put us up for the last 5 games of the season can sort that out.